across the House of Commons, there are MPs from all parties. That there's a big majority against a no-deal Brexit, but the government, Boris Johnson, is strongly in favour, come what may, of leaving the European Union on the 31st of October. So the only route open to these MPs is to create legislation, to create laws to make Boris Johnson go and seek an extension. So that's why you get a group of 15 or so Conservative MPs going with all the other opposition parties in the House of Commons to try and create a majority to ensure that Boris Johnson is boxed into a corner and has to get an extension to try and stop a no-deal Brexit. So that's the big prize for these MPs who are all against the no-deal Brexit and want to thwart Boris Johnson. So the key option for Boris Johnson to try and stop himself from having to seek this extension is to call a general election. But unfortunately that's not in the gift of Boris Johnson, that's in the gift of the Labour Party. And the Labour Party and Conservative Party and the Liberal Democrats and the SNP want guarantees that there would not be an election after the 31st of October, and they argue Boris Johnson isn't going to honour that guarantee. So that means that the big get-out-of-jail-free card, that general election that he hopes to call, isn't as easy as it seems for Boris Johnson. So actually all the options available to Boris Johnson are narrowing. He's finding himself boxed in here by the Labour Party and by these Conservative rebels. Yeah, it's pretty good. Have you been to Lisbon before?
Yeah, long.
So the two factors that most affect the price of sterling and lower the price of sterling is Brexit uncertainty and the increased chance of a no-deal Brexit. And what we're seeing is massive uncertainty, but also a government and an executive that's really clear they want a no-deal Brexit. And both of those things combined is what's causing such damage and uncertainty to sterling at the moment.
So I asked him one question, which was, if you support a no-deal Brexit, what do you think the mortality rate's going to be? And that is the question that needs to be asking. All this, there's a few bumps in the road. We need to know what the bumps are, how many they are, how big they are, how we can mitigate them, and frankly, how many people are going to be harmed by them. And those bumps are real patients who are at risk, this is just insane, because we're a nation at peace, yet we're needing to think of almost military levels of contingency planning. It's bonkers. I honestly think a no-deal Brexit is the biggest risk to the health service in its existence. Okay, I mean we're talking about drugs, but then there's staffing. Okay, 14% of my specialty, neurology, is from the European Union. I've been advertising a job for the last 6 months. We haven't had any applicants from the UK or indeed the EU, okay, at all, okay? So that means patients are waiting longer. Research, the impact on research, EU grants that normally, I mean, Britain is a world leader in research, but now people aren't being able to apply for EU grants because who wants, they kind of want the UK to know what the hell they're doing. So when I spoke to the Sunday Times, there were about 20 different drugs in total. And the absolutely jaw-dropping bit of the whole Sunday Times story this week is that the Royal College of Physicians have not been approached for an update of the Yellowhammer since March. So literally my own government over here is winging it. I just can't believe this, This is one of the greatest countries in the world, and they're winging it on their pharmaceutical policy for it beggars belief.